This is another edition of the ETV Sports Net. If you don't know by now, this is Mark T. Robinson. And just because we've had COVID-19 and it's now the summertime doesn't mean that our sports coverage has come to an end. In fact, I feel like things are just starting to shake back up. And you can ask first-year pitcher Julian Pokorny. That's who I'm here with right now. And he has had the experience of playing in the Collegiate Summer Baseball Invitational. I know it's a mouthful, folks, but he's back on the diamond, and he's going to talk to us about his experience. But first of all, Julian, thanks for joining me here today. And just got to talk about how good does it feel to finally be back playing baseball again, man?
It feels great, man. Coming off the season we had, it wasn't the season that we intended. But, as we were getting on the bus to go to, I'm pretty sure it was Mary or UMHB, we got cut short and I wasn't able to pitch again. But, be able to get back on the field, it's great, man. It's a great feeling. Thanks to God, man.
Absolutely. And just kind of talk to us about, this the Collegiate Summer Baseball Invitational is what it's called. CSBI, for those of us who, the short version, for those of us who are familiar with the acronym. It was in Bryan, Texas this year, or out of Bryan, Texas. And just kind of talk about how did that come to be? How did you get a chance to participate in that type of opportunity?
So I want to give a thank you to, my old high school coach, Coach Watson. He has been doing a lot of Zoom calls and trying to get, mine and a couple of other baseball players' names out there and try to get us to play somewhere. And he just so happened to hop on a Zoom call with, some coaches, and he threw my name out there and they gave me a text and they said, "Hey, you want to come play in Bryan, Texas?" And I said, "Heck yeah, I'll be more than happy to."
Absolutely. And so it was just that simple, just a phone call, and then you were back on the diamond.
Yeah, I found out Saturday night, and then I left Monday morning to head to College Station.
Now, was there kind of a tryout process, or kind of like trying to get, a couple of warm-up throws in and things like that? Or was there any of that, or did you just hop on the field and just go in cold?
No, so I've been working out personally, but when we got to the hotel, they corona tested us, and then they had a practice for us Tuesday night for us to hit BP and to us throw bullpens. And then the next day did the same thing, and then went out Thursday and started playing.
Absolutely. And just kind of talk about, some of the factors that kind of go into, sports starting up again. Is there's a lot of talk about playing, with empty stands and things like that, no fans or limited fans allowed, or so to speak, because of everything that's happening. So just kind of talk about, how did that feel, playing in a baseball stadium, without any of the fan interaction and things like that?
It was kind of awkward at first because, you normally go to BP and, no one's really there during that time. But once game time hit, it kind of felt a little weird just to, look out and see, really nobody in the stands. But it allowed us to get closer together, because, we had to make our own noise and cheer our own teammates on. So it ended up being pretty fun.
So did it feel more like, an in-team scrimmage or anything like that? Or did it actually feel like you were part of kind of a game that counted for something? Did it kind of feel that way?
It did because, there were some reporters there, and, I'm not really used to seeing a whole bunch of camera crews and stuff out there. So when I stepped up on the field for the first game, it kind of had a little bit of, tension and a little bit of first game back jitters. But, yeah, it was something else, man.
Absolutely. And, we would have loved to be there to get the coverage of that, but we get to hear from you here today. So one of the things I wanted to kind of get into is just kind of talk about, what was it like playing with, or playing alongside some of these former Major League Baseball players. Just kind of talk about what that experience kind of taught you a little bit here during this time.
Yeah, hanging around a bunch of those guys, really opened my eyes and, really, truly gave me a vision of what I can be in the future, if that makes sense. Talking with them all weekend and asking them, simple questions about, pitches or, how to mentally prepare for the game and things like that. And they really gave me a lot of advice with open arms. And, it was great to experience that. And, I'm very thankful that they were willing to sit down and talk with me for the short amount of time that we had.
Absolutely. So what was the most fun part of this entire experience for you? Was it just simply being out there on the field, or was it being, on the field with these former greats and some of the best NCAA baseball players in the nation from just about everywhere? What was the best part for you?
I think it was sitting down in the dugout and, talking with different Dominican and Puerto Rican baseball players and asking them, what it's like growing up in, different countries and playing ball, and, what did they do during the pandemic and quarantine to get better. And, that was probably my favorite moment right there.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, that's a perfect segue to our next question here. So, just kind of talk about the whole COVID-19 experience for you. Obviously, you kind of alluded to it a little bit in the first question. You guys are on your way to Belton to take on UMHB, and then your trip was cut short with everything getting canceled across the nation. So how did you handle it over the next 3 months or so after the cancellation?
Well, when I came back, I wanted to give myself a little bit of a break a little bit from throwing, since we had, not fully gone through the full season, but, my body was a little worn down a little bit. But I did take a 2-week break, and then mainly just try to focus on school and God, just try to read and scripture and try to, grow as a person, being alone for all that time. And then I started working back into throwing, and luckily I'd been throwing for about 4 weeks before I got invited. But thank goodness I started prepping before, or else I would have been cold.
Absolutely. I feel like a lot of athletes, have been off for so long now that, it'd be foreign for them going back out onto the field and things like that. But you stay prepared. I like it. Absolutely. And just kind of talk to me about also, have you talked to any of your teammates, how they kind of dealt with this whole situation? If you can, that is.
Yes, I keep in contact with a bunch of my teammates, mostly Lucas McCrum and Jeremiah. Those guys live, not closest to me, but, I try to keep in contact with them. They've been working out, doing their reps. They actually get jobs, so they've been making money, and, just try to get by with, with the situation that's going on. But, yeah, I keep in contact with them.
So, obviously, it's been a crazy year here with your first year. Never thought that you'd have your season canceled right in the middle of things, just when conference play was really about to kick up for you guys. So what's your biggest takeaway from this whole, experience? How has it helped you grow, and how has it taught you to kind of look forward to things in the future? How's it taught you to prepare or anything like that, if you can?
In words of preparation, just cherish the moment, because, none of us would have thought in any sport that we would have been cut short. But, from playing ball every day and then just getting cut short, try to cherish that moment. And no matter, if you have a good game or a bad game, just try to have as much fun as possible, because we can only play this game for so short time.
Absolutely. And before we let you go here, do you have any favorite moments of your short season so far that you want to share with us, or can't really think of anything right now? But is there anything you want to leave us with here before we wrap things up?
Before we play every game, we normally do a pitcher circle with all of our pitchers, and we normally, pass out a candy and tell us something inspirational for us to do good that game. And that's probably one of my favorite moments, is to look forward before games and, get to sit in a circle with my brothers and talk about how we're going to win this game. But right, that's probably my favorite from this past season. But looking forward to getting new memories and getting back on the field, man.
Yes, sir. Well, it was great having you on here, Julian Pokorny, folks, the first-year pitcher for East Texas Baptist University, sharing with us his experience of getting back on the diamond, and hopefully more sports start to open up here over the next couple of weeks, couple of months or so, because we are absolutely anticipating something coming forward out of this. So once again, Julian Pokorny with us, Mark T. Robinson. You can follow us at goetvutigers.com or follow us on social media at goetvutigers. Once again, thank you guys once again for tuning in. We'll be back with more. Just stay tuned as we continue to bring you coverage of everything ETBU athletics.